Hello everybody and welcome to another Brother Crypt stream. Today I wanted to discuss trading bots and my excitement really at having set up another trading bot. Now, as I've mentioned before, my history is somebody from an IT background. I used to be a software test manager. I worked for quite a few financial institutions. I then became a consultant and was working on projects for short to medium time. And then I decided to leave all of that, and then I became a property investor, and I still have my property business today. Why I decided to leave that was because I really wanted to live life on my own terms, not be responsible for projects, not immerse myself in that stressful environment. And when I became a software test manager, I realized that there was a cap to the amount of progress I could make, and plus I always had the vision and appetite to always do my own business, hence why I left that space to get into the others. But yeah, moving forward into trading bots. I had been investing in cryptocurrency since, in particular Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin Dark, aka what is known today as Dash, back in 2013. I was just really buying because I believed in technology. I liked the idea of financial sovereignty, and I bought in, but I didn't really do any research. It was only till about June 2017 that I decided, oh, this space is booming. I should look at this professionally and properly to see if I can sort of make any good gains in this space. So since then, I've been looking at cryptocurrency, and every day I'm hustling basically. But since June, I've been looking at a range of different strategies. Long term, buy and hold. I have a portfolio which is growing. And in the medium term, what can I do in a few months that's going to reap me income or profits? And then I got into, things like lending programs, some short-term buy hold options, and then some short-term sell options. And then some of my short-term strategies were trading or cash flow strategies, a combination of lending programs and just buying and holding positions with a viewpoint to sell. So very soon it became apparent to me that, having worked in the city, that there were trading bots of a institutional kind that, used to trade anything from stocks to bonds to equities to derivative, you name it. In the city of London, it's being traded. And one of my previous clients was the NASDAQ. And, I used to work on software systems that used to do the clearing, in particular, for a lot of other counterparties affiliated with NASDAQ. So I've always known that in the traditional financial realm, there have been trading bots, but at a retail sort of realm, especially in cryptocurrency, I really wasn't familiar with that. So back in June, after doing my research, I found out that there were a few bots on the market. And then I decided to actually buy myself a Gunbot. So I have been experienced in Gunbot since around about June last year. Gunbot was very good at the time, and this video really wants to explain about my process with trading bots. Right now, currently, I'm into Gunbot. Right now, I've had experience of Gunbot, but I've also come across another cryptocurrency trading bot called Profit Trailer as well. There are others on the market, but I've had experience of these two. So in this video, I want to do a very basic sort of comparison, share my experience, and then hopefully in the future, I'll be creating more videos. So before I do continue, if you like this content or if you're interested, please do like my video. Please do share it so it enables other people to get the message, and then as it increases in popularity, I'll be able to create more videos and provide you with more help. But yes, going back, so in June I came across Gunbot. Gunbot was very good, but it required a huge barrier to entry. Even though I came from a computing IT background with basic knowledge of programming, it really did take me quite some time for me to get it set up. But yes, Gunbot was very good, and it took a while for me to get set up. But then what I found is towards the end of the year, in the bull run, around about October and November, it didn't really perform very well. So with Gunbot, I was lucky if I was making about 1% a day upon my initial investment. But some days I found out that Gunbot would hold a lot of bags. So basically a bag is when you buy a cryptocurrency and you're unable to sell it and you're holding on to that crypto for quite some time, you know, it's sort of eaten into your initial investment. And then if you want to take profit, it gets hard to take out that profit because you're holding cryptocurrency that you're effectively losing on. So Gunbot was cool. Another thing I found about Gunbot was that it did have a little bit of a high barrier to enter, but what I'll get into that in a little bit. So yesterday I created a new trading bot. What happened with Gunbot was that around about, I think it was in July I had got it started, maybe August, let it run for about 3 to 4, maybe 5 months, and then based on its performance, it just really wasn't worth it. So I decided to stop it, and I believe I stopped it in December last year. But yeah, recently, you know, given the situation, I've been looking at other streams of income in the crypto realm, and so I decided to look at trading bots again. I really wasn't too keen on Gunbot because it required a lot of effort to get it set up. So I was already looking to see if there were any easier bots, especially bots maybe with hosting that can be held, you know, on somebody else's hosting platform, and that I could access to remotely and change. I wasn't able to find that, but in my research, in my due diligence, I did come across Profit Trailer. So for the last few days, I've been researching, I've been looking into Profit Trailer, and I liked what I came across. Now with Profit Trailer, it pretty much works in a similar way to Gunbot, but it does have a lot of different characteristics which I have been drawn to, which I'll get into in a little bit as well. But going back to Gunbot, this is what the Gunbot interface looked like. Now, Gunbot is very much command driven. So as you can see, you know, this is running off a Mac terminal prompt, your equivalent of DOS, but on the Mac. So what you can see is like it's all colorful here, but in terms of a graphical user face, this was as comfortable as it got. And then for you to get this, you really needed to, you know, use a few commands. And then as well, for you to get this Gunbot monitor, which was in beta mode, this was actually a separate purchase, I think it was a separate purchase on top of the original Gunbot. So it becomes very expensive. Here you go. This is another picture of the Gunbot monitor as well. So what you can see here are all of the different positions. It's online, coins that you've held in these positions, its volume in Bitcoin, the price it bought it at, the price it seems to sell it at, the last price of that coin, and then the difference. So if it's in blue, then obviously that's going to be a profit. And I believe when we see it in purple, it's at a loss or it's at a minus. Actually, I think it's the other way round. Yes, it's the other way round. So if these coins here are zero, then the bot is waiting to buy it as well. And then the other thing with Gunbot is that you had to select which coins it should buy. So every day, you know, what I was told was that I had to analyze the market, see what coins I wanted to get into, try and stay away from the pump and dump coins. But if we see any interesting coins that aren't seeming to be pumped and dumped, that have a good volume, then you should add those coins to your configuration. And that was what I was doing on a daily basis. And then after a while, I really wasn't able to do that as I was, you know, had interest in other thing. And plus I've got another business as well. So what I found with Gunbot is that it does require daily management for it to be successful. However, if you do have the time, if you do have the skills, if you do have the expertise, then it can all be worthwhile. Now, also in Gunbot, this was another sort of little add-on that I purchased to Gunbot, which is also runs off the terminal sort of prompt, and then you're able to see, you know, a graphical representation of the coin's performance. So for example, we're looking at BTC versus Pay. This is Bitcoin versus the 10x Pay token, and then we can see the market. And then these blue lines here represent, I'm assuming they're Bollinger Bands. Yep, they're representing the top end or the height or the low end of a Bollinger Band and potential areas where the bot might pick it up. So what I found with Gunbot was that, you know, I did need time to be able to set it up. I remember it taking me about 3 or 4 days for me to set it up. And then afterwards, I sort of struggled because it was all new to me. And I'm not really that technical. I do have a little bit of programming expertise from what I used to do, but I'm no way, shape, or a programmer. And it took me a while to set up. It took me a while to install the bot, especially if you're, you know, messing around with terminal, Linux instructions, code from the command line. And then once you have installed it successfully, you need to set up the configurations. But going back to the Gunbot installation, you can do it in one of two ways. The way that I started was I ran the bot from my computer. And then I found out that I could never turn off my computer, because if I turned it off, then you know, the process would stop, the program would stop, and therefore I wouldn't buy or I wouldn't sell anything. So after having set it up on my computer, I then decided to set it up on a VPS, and then as well that requires more technical competencies for you to get it set up on a separate server, aka a VPS, a virtual private server, which is allocated to you, which you paid for. But then I did get that set up, and then everything was well. But you know, first you need to install the software either on your computer or onto a VPS, and then afterwards you need to set up your account. So you would need to have a trading account. Now, most of these trading bots, they can trade on exchanges like Bittrex, Poloniex, and Binance. Those are the holy three right now. But I'm aware that Gunbot does trade on other exchanges as well. I believe it's Cryptopia, Bitfinex and maybe even Kraken now, but I don't have any experience of trading on those as well. But also, if you're new to programming or you're not really strong, you need to be aware that you need to have some computer skills. So you need to be able to unzip files, and you need to be able to edit some text documents. You need to be able to send them to a server, and then that's just really at the computer configuration end. And then you've got a whole sort of learning curve when it comes to trading as well. You really need to know how to trade at exchanges and how to assess different trading, buying and selling strategies. So for example, I mentioned Bollinger Bands early. That's a that's a buy strategy, and then you have different sell strategies as well. So you need to be able to familiarize yourself with those as well. But just, yeah, looking at the Gunbot, it has most of those strategies that I've outlined, but then with the Gunbot, it needed to be changed, and you needed to make amendments to its configuration strategies to be able to for the bot to be able to succeed in different market conditions. So for example, with Gunbot, I had 3 vanilla settings. One was a bullish setting, one was a bearish setting, and then one was just a normal type of setting. And then sometimes it would be, you would have to change those settings multiple times in a day, so it did become a little bit exhausting. So moving on, another place that I got support from was, especially for Gunbot, was the Gunbot University, which I'll touch into later. But after a few days of getting the Gunbot set up on my computer, it really wasn't performing as well as I would like it. So, my motto is, if you're going to go into anything, you should be prepared to pay for education so that you can better yourself, and that you're not taking a long time making mistakes, especially costly mistakes, which will cost you money. It's better to spend a little bit of money, learn from experts, and then once you've learned from experts, that increases your learning curve exponentially at a quicker rate, and therefore you're able to start generating income back from your expertise. This is the outline that I take with property investing, and I think I'm happy to do this in cryptocurrency as well, especially if I can get any good mentors. So at the time, there was a Gunbot University. I believe they're still around now, and they helped me for me to do my the setup on a VPS, and then also they helped me with the settings as well. Now, what I've come across recently is Profit Trailer. Now, Profit Trailer, this bot has been up for less than 24 hours, and I found the learning curve a lot smaller and a lot shorter than I did with Gunbot. That's probably for 2 reasons. I think the first reason is because I had gone through the Gunbot configuration and setup on the computer hardware side a few months ago, less than a year ago. Some of it was still fresh in my mind. I think the second reason why I found it easier was because, on the whole, I believe that the information provided about Profit Trailer is a little bit more centralized. You can go to the Profit Trailer website, and then all of the information that you need can easily be found at the website. So I found that very helpful. So this sort of reduced my learning curve in getting it set up, and then I was able to do it, in less than about probably 12 hours. It took me the best part of yesterday to get it set up, whilst doing other things as well. And then I got it set up late at night. But yes, what I have now is that this Profit Trailer, this is hosted on another computer, on another VPS. Now, with VPS, they are basically, you're going to a service provider and then you're asking for a virtual server. And with this package that I have now, I'm using a company called Volta, and I'm paying around somewhere between $10 to $20 per month for this package. Um, Now, I'm quite happy with this package, but you know, you need to take this into consideration so you can do your costs and you can do your sums, so you know roughly how much it's gonna charge. But yeah, let me just give you a quick overview of Profit Trailer. Okay, so this is the primary page. This is the monitoring. We can see that my balance is around zero point 0.2 Bitcoin. The total current value here in the account is 0.4 Bitcoin. Now, this has only been set up for about 24 hours, so it's a little bit new to me. But what I did do yesterday was I sent about 0.4 or 0.5. So I think I'm seeing a little bit less than my overall portfolio, but maybe I've lost some value in some of the bags that I'm holding. So this is the total pending value. I'm not too sure what this is. And then this is the overall Bitcoin price right now. And more importantly, we can see the profit that's been made. So Trend USD, I think this is the increase in the USD price against the Bitcoin price. Yes, I think this is it. And then we can see that overall in the last sort of 7 days, the Bitcoin has gone down against the USD price by about 17%. So here's the juicy parts right here. This has only been going up for less than 24 hours. I got it fully set up and completed yesterday at around about 11 or 12 in the evening. And so far today, I've made about 14 sales, and that's given me a profit of around $28. And then, you know, it calculates the profit that's been made for the week. And then we have all of the different settings here as well. So moving on, let me take you to the sales log. So now we can see, you know, some of the sales that have been made. This bot is very bullish on Civic right now. So it's made about how many sales? About 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So far in less than 24 hours, it's made about 5 sales on Civic. And the biggest profit I've made is $4.12, so about a 2% profit. You can see here, because of the sales, the way it's been programmed, it's only going to sell when it's in the profit, and the profit has so far ranged from about 0.99% up to 2.41, and I'm very happy with this. So if we do, what we're going to do is we're going to check the pairs log. So basically, my understanding is that these pairs log, these are the coins that the bot has held, which it's waiting to see. So it looks like I've taken a hit on 2 of these, NBT. I'm not even sure what NBT is, but how Profit Trailer works in comparison to Gunbot is that it has free reign of the market. So basically, the way that Profit Trailer is sort of set up with its default settings is that it will buy any coin in the market, which is good and it's bad, because it means that rather than with the Gunbot method having to choose your pairs individually and constantly monitor the market, with Profit Trailer you can just sort of set it up, open out the box and say, I do not want you to trade these coins. And then if you tell it not to trade these coins, it will just trade anything else in the market if it sees that it's a good opportunity. So I'm not too sure what this NBT is. I will check after my research. But if I suspect it's going to be a pump and dump coin, I'll add it to my list of cryptocurrencies not to buy. And what I like is that, you know, we can automatically monitor the values and coins, and you can pick pairs unless you tell it not to. So here we have the possible buy logs. In Profit Trailer, we're able to see, you know, the coins that the bot is actually thinking of buying. It's probably going to wait till it's at a particular value. It's looking for Bollinger Band triggers. These are all empty right now because I'm using a different buy strategy called EMAG gains. Okay, so basically I'm using a derivative of a gain strategy for me to be able to buy these coins. So what it's doing is it will look at these criterias. You can tell it's thinking, and then if it thinks it's a buy, it will just buy it, and then it will turn into the pairs log. Okay, so just before I finish, a few things I'd like to say about Profit Trailer is that my experience of it has a built-in graphical user interface which looks really clean. With Gunbot, you just sort of buy the code, and then I had to buy an external GUI for it, which was more expensive. And Gunbot is more than Profit Trailer in price, but then you had to buy a separate GUI. I haven't really checked up on Gunbot now, but it was certainly like this in July last year when I first got my license. The beautiful thing is that with both of these licenses, with Gunbot and with Profit Trailer, you have lifetime licenses as well. So somebody brought up to me, I think it was a CWS trading bot. And basically you just pay them a fee like 200. I think they host the bot for you, but then every year you need to pay a recurring fee. And then it's got an affiliate link. I don't really think that's a good call. I think that the majority of the professional bots, apart from Hasbots, they give you lifetime licenses, and my expertise is only against Gunbot and also Profit Trailer as well. Now, another thing that I did like with Profit Trailer is we can see here it has a Telegram API. So this was my first sale yesterday at about 12:30, and my Gunbot is called Oculus Prime, and it sold its first trade and made me a profit of 1.2. Then into the night, it was just buying up some of these cryptocurrencies. And then what we can see is that as the BTC price rose, it went into a sell-only mode. And then it was just selling off some of these coins. And then, it doesn't really last in sell-only mode long, but it's good that it goes into that petition just to probably protect the Bitcoin price, and probably to protect the amount of Bitcoin that you're holding on your base currency as well. And then further down, we can see all of the other cryptocurrencies that it's bought and sold. So those were, good features that I liked about Gunbot. Excuse me, about Profit Trailer. So if we go to the Gunbot website, I think this is the official website, we can see here that the price for one license is 0.056 BTC. I believe off the top of my head, this is around about $500, which makes sense. I think I did pay around about $500 for my license. It's been quite some time, so I can't remember. I think it was about 0.5 Bitcoin at the time, and that was just for one license as well. And then here, this is the Gunbot University. So if you guys decide, you want to get a Gunbot, you like the sign of it, you're not too sure, if you're prepared to learn, if you go over to the Gunbot Uni, tell them Brother Crip sent you, you'll get a discount. And then these guys are good. They really helped me to feel confident in the Gunbot. But after, the performance of the last quarter of last year, I just thought, no, this wasn't for me. And then I sort of turned it off. And then looking back now, I just thought there were too many moving parts and I didn't really have the time for it. So I really wasn't, thrilled about my experience of Gunbot. However, with that said, I think it sort of struggled in an uphill market. And then, you know, the bot is only as good as the person programming it. So I do take responsibility. It's not really the software, it was really the config and how it was set up, which is somewhere that I struggled a little bit and I didn't really give it the time that it deserved. So moving on, we have the Profit Trailer website. If we check here, I think you can buy Profit Trailer from this website. Yes, you can. So with Profit Trailer, it's almost half the price. So I paid about $250 to get one license. With both of these bots, I've both connected them to my Bittrex account. As it says, you can have it on Bittrex, on Binance, on Poloniex. You can get a license for 2 exchanges or one for 3 exchanges. And the graphical user interface is also included in the license. You don't have to get an additional add-on. That Gunbot monitor I showed you earlier on at the beginning of the video, that was an additional add-on. So that was an additional add-on for Gunbot, but with Profit Trailer, it's all rolled up into one. Now, over the last 24 hours, I've become accustomed to the Profit Trailer wiki. Now, this is a really, really good stored out wiki, which is very helpful. If you've got the time to go through it all, probably at least 3 times, you're going to be able to get all of the answers that you have here. You know, however, you will have to have a basic prerequisite of a knowledge of, you know, how to send files, how to set up a VPS. You know, you will need basic computer skills. And if you're comfortable using a DOS prompt or a terminal, or you know a little bit of Linux, if you're a programmer, and you know you've set up websites before, this will be a doddle. This will be easy for you. But if you're not really coming from a computer background, you may need somebody to hold your hand, or you'll need to be prepared to spend a lot of time. You know, different people are at different skill sets, but if you're not, you know, in the business of computing, if you haven't set up a website before, if you're not liking this, I recommend that you stay away from this. However, with that said, if you are comfortable using this, then be prepared for a little bit of an uphill, which may take you a few hours or a few days. But there's definitely ways, you know. I'm very much prepared to help people to get into this space. So if you're thinking about getting into Profit Trailer or Gunbot, or you've got a few questions, you know, just send me a message. So I think that's really all that I wanted to say. I'm just looking at my phone right now, and yep, Oculus Prime is just popping off those sales. It's sold some Lisk and it sold some Waves, and it's bought some Zen, so it's busy. So that's my video for now, guys. I'm really excited about Profit Trailer. I really wanted to share my progress and my update with you. I hope to be doing some more videos. So if you like this, if you found it helpful, if you've got any questions, let me know, or drop a comment down in the description, or yeah, hit me up. So thank you for watching another Brother Crypt video. I'm out. Take care. Peace.